The square stirred with tentative life. Threads of the loom pulsed faintly beneath the feet of the newly awakened, guiding their steps with an almost imperceptible rhythm. Layra moved among them, Naren at her side, watching as those who had once slept for centuries took their first real choices. Some of the dreaming fragments lingered at the edges, half-formed visions of markets, towers, and streets that had existed only in memory. Layra reached out, letting the pulse of the loom hum through her fingers. She guided the fragments gently, shaping them into forms that aligned with the waking world. "It doesn't have to collapse," she murmured. "We can carry what's worth keeping, memories, stories, skills, but leave the illusions behind." A man stepped forward, holding a shard of light from one of the ancient weaver's cocoons. His eyes were wide, trembling with understanding. We can choose." "Yes," Layra said, meeting his gaze. For the first time, fully awake. The dreaming was meant to hold us, to guide us. But now, the guidance ends. You decide what continues. The helix pulsed brighter above, threading itself through the fragments, binding waking and dreaming into a single rhythm. Naren's presence beside her anchored the pulse. Together, they formed a bridge between centuries of stasis and the new era of conscious creation. Layra paused, observing the subtle interactions. Some fragments resisted, tugging against the loom's gentle guidance. Others aligned instinctively, drawn to the threads of memory and meaning. Every choice, every hesitation, every acceptance became a stitch in the emerging pattern of a hybrid civilization. "The Weavers," Naren said quietly, his gaze distant. "They were the first to fall into this pattern, to shape it from the inside. And now we continue their work, but with choice, not obligation. With awareness, not surrender." Layra nodded, understanding the gravity. Each awakened mind was a thread, each decision a pattern, each fragment of the dreaming that remained was a seed. Together, they could weave a civilization that honored the centuries spent in sleep while embracing the freedom of waking. A child appeared at the edge of the square, holding a fragment of silken light. She looked up at Layra, eyes wide with wonder. "Are you weaving?" Layra smiled faintly. "I am, part of the loom, yes. But now it is ours, yours, mine, all of ours. We shape it together," the city responded, subtle shifts rippling through streets and plazas as fragments of the dream settled into forms guided by conscious hands. The hybrid civilization began to emerge, half remembered, half newly imagined, entirely alive. Layra felt Naren's hand on her shoulder. "The first steps are always the hardest," he said. "But once the loom begins to resonate with choice instead of design, there's no turning back, only growth." She exhaled, feeling the pulse of 1,000 minds syncing with hers. The vessel was no longer only a dream. It was a living network of conscious souls. And for the first time, Layra understood the full weight and the beauty of what she had begun. "Then we begin," she whispered, and with that, the first dawn of the hybrid civilization stretched across the dream city. Threads of memory, fragments of centuries, and the courage of the awakened wove together, spinning a future that had been waiting to be chosen. The vessel pulsed in quiet approval, its hum a song of both the dreaming and the waking, an anthem for the civilization that would rise from both worlds.